topic for today is resultant of several forces. So, which is the continuation of our last video, that is resolution of vector. In that case, we resolve a single vector into horizontal component and vertical component. For this one, we are going to have more than two forces. So we are going to resolve the force into its horizontal component and vertical component. Then we add all the vertical together, we add all the horizontal together to have two perpendicular forces. So in this case, the first thing we need to do is, when you are given forces like this, you look at that force. Is that force on exactly vertical component or horizontal component? If the force is on horizontal component or vertical component, in that case you don't need to resolve again. You just record it under vertical or horizontal, depends. But if the force is not either horizontal or vertical, look at this one, like this 20 Newton. So this one is not on horizontal component and it's not on vertical component. In that case, we have to resolve it. So by resolving it, we are going to get that of horizontal component and vertical component. Then we still need to consider another thing. The next thing we need to consider is that, is it negative or positive? Look at these four cardinal points. This is vertical, this is horizontal. The vertical divided into two. The down part of it is negative. Then the up part of it is positive. Then for the horizontal, then the right part of it is positive, while the left is negative. Now, let's use this question to analyze the topic. For instance, the question says, find the resultant force in the diagram above and determine the directions of the resultant force. So we have four forces: 10 Newton, 5 Newton, 20 Newton, and 30 Newton. If you look at it, we have two of them acting on particular axes. Like this 10 Newton is on vertical component, vertical axis. So in that case, we don't need to resolve it. We just need to look at it very well. Is it negative part of vertical or positive part of it? Then look at this 5 Newton as well. The 5 Newton is on horizontal, and it is what? Positive part of it, like I said, right part. Now, let's take the force. We can even use the table to make it what? Easier. We have table like this. We have force in Newton. Then we have vertical component, also in Newton. Then we have horizontal component, also in Newton. Now let's start from this. If this is our F1, then F2, F3, then F4. Now let's start from F1, that is 10 Newton. This 10 Newton is vertical component, but it's negative. So we are going to write it with that negative. So in that case, we go to vertical, we are going to write minus 10.00. Then let's go to F2. See, the F2 is on horizontal directly. We don't need to resolve it again. So it's 5 Newton and it's positive. Then for this one, which is 10 Newton and it's negative, the vertical horizontal component of this one is 0. Therefore, we are going to write 0.00. Then for this one is 5 Newton, which is horizontal. Write it under horizontal component directly, 5.00, and it's positive. Then the vertical component of this one is 0. Come back to this place, write 0.00. Now, let's go to F3. Look at this F3. So we cannot say it's what? Positive, horizontal, and we cannot write it under vertical. So the next thing is to resolve it. To resolve it is very simple. You can decide to what? Make it a right angle like this with horizontal. Or you bring the triangle as it is, like you bring it out, make it simpler. So in that case, our force is like this. Then horizontal component, then vertical component of it. So this one, we can label it and call it Fs, while this one is Fy. Then the angle is 30. That's all. The force itself is 20. You write it here. which is hypotenuse. This is where we have 90. So if you have 90 here, this hypotenuse, this opposite, this is adjacent. So in that case, to get vertical component, you use sine theta. It will now be what? Sine 30 is equal to opposite Fy over hypotenuse 20. Therefore, Fy is equal to 20 sine 30, which is equal to 20 multiplied by 0.5, because sine 30 is 0.5. So this one will give us 10 Newton. And if you look at that vertical component, it's all. Therefore, it's positive. So go to, you don't need to add it and negative. Go to vertical component and record this one. Vertical component, we have 10 Newton, 10.00. Then calculate the horizontal component immediately. Look at it first. It's by the right. It's positive as well. So you may not even need to stress yourself. If vertical is sine, automatically horizontal will be cos. So you may not need to restart again. You can just change this one to what? Cos 30. Now let's start this one first. First one. Then come back here. Horizontal. This is adjacent and hypotenuse. So in that case, we are going to have cos 30 is equal to adjacent, that is fx over hypotenuse 20. Therefore, fx is equal to 20 cos 30. And what is cos 30? Cos 30 is 0.866. Therefore, we have 20 multiplied by 0.866. So, this one is same thing as 2 multiplied by 8.66. So 2 times 0.866 will give us approximately 17.3. So we have 17.3 Newton. So here, right, that is horizontal component. That is 17.3. 17.30. That is 0.866 times 20. That's 17.32. Now, the next thing is to go to the fourth force. We do the same thing. Apply the same thing. So for this one, you can join it like this. So in some cases, they will just give you this angle. And you can use it, join it like this, still the same thing. Why, if you still want to use this horizontal component like this, to make your rectangle triangle like this, since this one is 60, this one will become 30. Very simple. So you bring out the triangle to make it easier. You are going to have vertical, then the force itself, then horizontal component. This is the angle, 30. The force is 30 Newton. 30 Newton here. You need Fx and we need Fy. To apply the same thing, to get vertical component, use sine, opposite and hypotenuse. We have sine 30 is equal to opposite, that is Fy over 30. Therefore, Fy is equal to 30 multiplied by sine 30. And if you look at it very well, look at vertical, it's up. It's positive. So in that case, we have Fy is equal to 30 multiplied by sine 30 is 0.5, which is equal to 15 Newton. So our vertical component is 15 Newton. You write it here, 15.00. Then to get horizontal component, you can just check, but look at horizontal component now. It's by the left, it will come with negative. So we have, to get the horizontal component, we combine this and this, which is cos. So we are going to have cos 30 is equal to Fx over 30. Therefore, Fx is equal to 30 times cos 30, which is equal to 30 multiplied by 0.866. So 30 times 0.866, so we give us 25.98. So this one will give us 25.98 Newton. So you write it under horizontal component. We have 25.98. Then the next thing is to sum all the vertical component together, sum all the horizontal component together. So you can even write your first here. This one for 10. The first one, the second one is 5. The third one is 20. The fourth one is 30. Like then the sum of this one and then the sum of this one. Total. What is the sum? Add this one together. You can see this is positive and negative. This is positive. So it may be 15.00. Then this one, also don't forget, this one is minus. Minus. This one, this place is negative. So by the time you add this one together, subtract, add this and this first, it will give you 22.32. So you take it away from this, so it will now give you minus 3.66. Minus 3.6. That's all. So after this one, it means we have resolved the four forces into only two. One for vertical and the other one for horizontal. Therefore, the two forces are now perpendicular, which means we are going to use Pythagoras theorem to get our final resultant. Then you get resultant first. You draw like this. Just draw four cardinal points like this. Now, go to the vertical component. It's positive. Vertical is positive. This is positive part of vertical, like this. Then horizontal is negative. You don't need this minus here, but just to indicate whether your line will be negative part or positive part. Now that we are having negative, is negative part of horizontal. So it's this side. You draw it here. That's all. Then you join this one together like this, if you like, or draw a line from here to serve as your resultant. Then join this vertical, which is 15. This one is 15. This one is 3.66. Then bring this 15 here, same thing. Then the next thing is to find what? Use Pythagoras theorem to get this resultant. Use Pythagoras theorem to get the resultant. So in that case, you are going to use r squared is equal to 15 squared plus 3.66 squared. So this one will give us 225 plus 3.66 squared. 3.66 squared is 30.39. 13.4 approximately. So therefore our r is equal to square root of add this and this together, which will give us 238.4. Then you find the square root. R now is equal to square root of 238.4 is 15.44. 15.44. Therefore, the resultant of this one is 15.44 Newton. Now we have gotten the resultant. The next thing is the direction. How are we going to get direction? Just write your resultant here. That is 15.44. Now you can use anyone. If you like, use sine to join this, and this is what we need. We need this angle. So by the time you get this angle, you can easily get this one. Or you can join it like this angle we need. So it's not something west, not something west. Is that something that theta we need that will serve as the direction? You can get this one, let's take it away from 90 to get this. Or you can easily get this, join it like this. So we have gotten this. This one is 15. This hypotenuse is 15.44. Then this one is 3.66. So what we need is this theta. Or you can calculate this one, take it away from 90 degrees. So in that case, so we just use sine theta. Sine theta is equal to, this theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. 3.66 over 15.44. 3.66 over 15.44. So that will give us 0 point opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, 3.44 or 0.4. So our theta now is equal to sine arc open bracket. This one is 0.2376. 0.2376. Therefore, theta is equal to 13.7. Is equal to 13.75 degree. 75 degree. Now, it's from here, since we've calculated this one, it will now be not 13.75 degree what? West. So this is the direction of the resultant force. Very simple. So that's the end of the class for today.